guys. Thank you for tuning in to We versus PTSD. This is episode 3, a little bit of my civilian history. I was born on 1978 in South Miami Beach, Florida. I lived there for a very short time and moved to Antrim, New Hampshire, so from south to north. I lived on, I think, a street called Masquinippy Drive, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, lived there until I was in second grade. First, I can't remember. Anyway, I skipped second grade and moved to Avery County, North Carolina, and went into third grade. I grew up in a lovely town called Linville Falls, North Carolina. Did a lot of things in Crossnore, North Carolina, which is near Linville Falls, and went to Crossnore Elementary, then to Avery Middle in Newland, North Carolina, and then on to Avery High School in Newland, North Carolina. Now, in between Florida and North Carolina, my family suffered some devastating losses, the first being the death of my brother Joshua Downing, who was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, I think, cancer at age 5 and died at age 7. Then when I was born, I was a triplet, but the doctor had left us in too long, which led to a lot of complications. The first triplet out, Jonathan, lived 3 days, and the second triplet out, Jacob, who ended up having a lot of issues. He was blind, he was deaf, he was mentally retarded, a lot of other issues that were caused by the childbirth. And he had a lot of problems his whole entire life. He wasn't, I think from what I was told, he wasn't expected to live past age 12, and he passed away when he was 31. So I've lost both of my triplets, which is very heartbreaking, and it's something I think about every day. And then I think it was in 82. I'm gonna guess on that, but my father passed away. And then in 2016, my brother Jock Downing, he went to Elk River Falls in Elk Park, North Carolina, which he had done since he was a teenager. I think I can't remember exactly how he was going to die. Let's see. He was 16. I think he was 39. But he jumped off Elk River Falls and never resurfaced. We had conversations about Elk River Falls. I'm a firefighter, and we've done a lot of recoveries at Elk River Falls of people who had jumped and not resurfaced. And I talked to him about that, and he was convinced that he knew the perfect spot and the perfect way to jump where that wouldn't happen. And I talked to him about what's underneath the water and the debris and the fishing line and the rock cliffs. There's rock cliffs where the water's like this, but 40 feet down there's a rock that goes like this and you get caught under. That happened to a lot of the victims down there. And he just, when we had talked maybe 3 months before he passed away, and I just said, man, you got to stop jumping off there. And he was just convinced that he had the perfect spot. And if you knew my brother, he wasn't just making that up or lying. He was really convinced that he had the perfect spot. And ultimately, him jumping off the falls is what led to his death. So it's been very traumatic for my family. We've lost so many people, and it's very traumatic for me. I've lost all my brothers. I do have one sister left. She's an amazing woman, Elizabeth Womack, and I'm so glad to have her. And I still have my mother and my godmother, and so that's very important to me. But all this stuff takes a toll, as all of you guys know. Most everybody's lost somebody, and unfortunately, I've lost a lot. And on days where you feel down or depressed, or you get in that dark place, your mind automatically goes to, well, what if my brothers were here? What if my dad was here? And I think it's logical to think like that, but then you get in a place where you kind of start dwelling on it, and then you feel like your life can't be complete without him here, which in a way is true. Uh, I would say a majority of you guys listening have lost somebody, and you feel that way, but somehow we got to press on, and we're not going to forget them. We're not going to move on, really. We're going to move on in a way, but never truly move on from their passings. I know I'm kind of going back and forth here, but as far as when I was growing up, and I don't know if this contributes to the loss of my brothers or my father or whatever, but I always had very low self-confidence, and I was very shy, and I was kind of the one that would hide in the corner so my name wouldn't be called or so attention wouldn't be brought to myself. But I worked from a very young age. Those things were instilled to me by my mother and my godmother. And I think in high school, I think I started working at Hardee's, the fast food restaurant, and by the time I was a senior, I think I was a manager. And, I was doing pretty decent for myself as far as, making a living for myself, making good money, and supporting myself. Some different circumstances happened when I was 19 years old, and I decided to join the military, which was very abnormal for me, being as shy and, self-confidence and things like that. And some things happened that really pushed my mind towards the military. And when I was 19 years old, I did my thing, joined the military. The recruiter picked me up from my mother's house in Linville Falls, North Carolina. And you get in the recruiter's car, which is creepy enough, but you leave everything you've ever known, and you go to Charlotte to MEPS, and you do your thing there, and next thing you know, your life's about to change. Like I always say in every video at the end, God bless every single one of you. You guys are so near and dear to my heart. And I know that we can do this together. I know it's going to be hard. But I feel if you're led by God to do something, you got to do it. And usually a lot of the times when you are led by God to do something, especially for others, it's very hard for you. But irregardless, God's will is my ultimate mission. And I just pray blessings on every single one of you. And I hope that you can tune in for the next video, and I hope that getting on to these next videos, they involve your ideas, your topics, your subjects, your trauma, and we can start working on this thing. So God bless you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.